Alright, I think it's going. I think. I will check with Twitch real quick. And, okay, looks like it's going. Hello everyone, this is Chris Ingerson, and it is June 2nd. And this is the June 2nd Text West Devstream. So today I'm going to go over some of the updates that I've done. Most of that stuff deals with combat. And then we're going to go ahead and get started putting in some volumetric audio. Currently we have some volumetric audio being used for our water sounds here, and I would like to add some more audio to the magic pipes when they're turned on. So that's on the agenda for today, and we'll also do a couple of other things. So to get started, let's go ahead and do this first. I'm going to go ahead and go to spawn points and turn off my test spawn. All right. So, okay, just double checking that I'm not muted. I'm going to go ahead and play. And since last week I have, or not last week, since Tuesday, I have added the ability to equip items inside of combat and have them do special effects. So we know that currently, I can wear the goat mask, not gout, goat mask, and I'll get goat vision. And then if I were to approach the troll as I am right now, it would actually activate a cutscene, and we might also redo that a little bit tonight. So that's that if I'm wearing it before I approach the troll. But it also needs to be possible that you can put on the mask in the middle of combat in case you either forget that you're not wearing it somehow, or you don't know that you can wear it ahead of time, or you don't know its special effect. So currently, I have it in my inventory, and once I get into combat, I'll actually be able to properly equip it. So if I hit, it's going to mute audio. Now currently, I do have an oddity happening where you can see that I have two swords and a wizard's cap on, and that's just because I don't have those sprites refreshing correctly. So when I hit 2, I'm going to select an item. You can see that I have one item right now, Goat Mask. Its effect is Equip. So I am going to select 1, or I could type Mask or Goat Mask, whatever I wanted, and then it will equip it. It'll say Equipped Goat Mask, and because this is a special thing for the troll, it'll say upon seeing the face of its natural enemy, the object name, blah, 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 blah. So it actually does everything. That triggers that special animation, and then we win. So there are a couple, and then we have the oh, look at that, oh wait, no, it's not. Okay. I thought for a second our volumetric audio was wrong, but I keep forgetting that I muted the tab. So you see that we have the goat vision now after coming out of the fight, because we actually equipped it in the middle of combat, so those changes will persist. So if you equip items in combat, they will be equipped on you when you leave combat. And then, of course, we can continue on like we're used to. Alright, so that's the big change that I've done since Tuesday, and the reason it's kind of rough around the edges right now is because I'm sort of in the middle of a complete overhaul on the combat design. Mostly because the current combat design, as I've said in the past, is somewhat clunky and not very fun. Well, it's not that it's not fun, it's that it's not very real-time and exciting. So I'm going to make some changes to that in the coming weeks, and I have an idea of what I want to do with it, but I'm just figuring out how I want to actually approach it, like how I want to script it. Hello, Garrett. Good to see you again. How have you been? So yeah, that's something that I'm going to be doing probably on my own, just because it's coding and I'm not entirely sure how I want to approach it. Because right now combat is a coroutine, and it's not. I don't like doing that. I don't like having this massive coroutine just sort of going on in the background. And so I'm currently trying to sort of set up this architecture that, yeah, I'm glad that my mic is on, considering my past experiences with just streaming for 2 hours and then being like, oh yeah, I muted my mic. Lovely. So so right now I'm currently trying to experiment to get a combat system in place that doesn't have anything waiting, basically. So there's no coroutines waiting for something specific to happen. Instead, it's going to be completely event driven. And I'm also going to try to consolidate my combat scripts, because I actually have 3 different scripts related to combat. Just watching Ramey's stream, but the person on was super nervous and rambling. Ugh. Yeah, I can understand that though. I'm not exactly the most eloquent speaker in the world. In fact, I really wish that I had a much better speaking voice. It's one of my like deep-seated loathings of myself. I hate the sound of my voice. Although I guess I think it has gotten better since I started doing dev streams. I enunciate a little bit, but I still can't talk though. Never mind. So yeah, currently experimenting with that sort of structure for a new combat system, and it's going to be a lot more, for lack of a better word, it's going to be like a cinematic combat system. So it's something that I'm just trying to get a good idea of what I want from that. Anyway, so let's go ahead and start setting up our volumetric audio for our pipes here. So currently, and I'm going to have to unmute audio, of course. Mute audio. Yeah, I really need to try and get on other streamers' streams to be more of an evangelist. Evangelist? Yeah, evangelist about text quests, but I'm not great at that. I'm not great at contacting people and saying like, hey, I want to be on your show. I'm going to rotate left. So, you know, if I rotate left and we have the magic flowing here, you can see that it is flowing, but there's no sound to indicate that. We have lights, but nothing else is really indicating that. And I want to make it so that there is some audio that can be heard whenever the pipes are turned on. So we're going to go ahead and start setting up the volumetric audio for that. Hello, Dlezer? Dlezer. Hope I'm saying that right. Welcome to the Devstream. Currently setting up volumetric audio, which is just audio that sort of is not from a fixed point. So, let's go to audio. Probably get rid of new, actually. So we can keep this on here. Let's move the audio reverb out here, and let's move our water to there, and then we can get rid of new. Boom. All right. So now we're going to add a new one that's going to be pipes. So create empty. Let me see if I can... 5.4 still has the shortcut key messed up. Alright, so we're going to call this pipes. And then we're going to go ahead and get started with... I wonder if I can create it from here. Probably not. No. Alright, so we're going to go up to window. And I believe it's under sector... Maybe I'm crazy. There it is, sector. And I believe we want audio. Uh-oh. Something went wrong. Or is that going to try to... Oh, okay. So we'll move this over here. Let me see if I can... I guess this is actually just the... Oh, yeah, I might not need this then. This might just be our sort of audio... designer. So thank you. I'm glad that it looks nice. I've spent, this is probably actually not quite a year. Well, actually no, it's maybe almost a year of work on this level and a couple of others. How long have I been doing stuff with Unity? So I've been doing stuff with Unity for about, I feel old, about 4 years now. So I started back junior year of college, which was 2012-ish. And then I got really heavy into it the year after. So yeah, I've been using it for about 4 years now, and I've become pretty comfortable with it. I still don't know everything, but I'm getting the hang of it. Okay, spline source, that's what we want. I thought there was a way to create this quickly, but I guess not. Component sector. Yeah. Alright, well, I'll go ahead and make a new one anyway. Because clearly I can't do this. So, create empty. I'm just doing this to be cautious because it's been a while since we've done this. Are you a new game designer? Or are you interested in game design, Dlezer? Let's go to audio, and we want spline source. There we go. Alright. And we're going to have to put together an audio queue, aren't we? Right. So before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and go back to our castle scene. So intro castle. I'm gonna grab the magic sound that I'm using for the barriers because I kind of like that low hum that it does. Yeah, time. Yeah. Well, and I've been working on Text Quest for almost 3 years now. It's probably about 2 years and like 8 months of development time, roughly. Um, so that's been fun. Actually, it is pretty fun, but it's just been actually okay. Remember where that is. It's just been a long time, and I always feel bad because I feel like after 3 years I should be done, but I'm not. I'm not even close. Although I guess to be fair, it has been just me doing a giant 3D game, doing all the art and the programming and the design and some of the audio. Ah man, yeah, and it hasn't been full time either. It's usually been after work, I will do what I can and then see how far I can get pretty much. All right, so let's go ahead and there's a better way to do this. I thought maybe not. Maybe I'm just crazy. Let's see. Water starts there. Let's go ahead and move this guy. So this is going to be for this first pipe. So pipe A, outflow B, I believe is what it's called. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not terrible. I do enjoy doing this. It's certainly something. The white line in the scene is a spline, and a spline you can think is just sort of like a line representation of something, and that's actually our volumetric audio. So if I were to set this up currently, I'll turn this off real quick. So if I were to play, except if I was smart, I would have turned off maximize on play so you could see it. Give it a second. All right, so turn off maximize on play. I'm going to move over here, and you can see I'm going to be the camera icon down here. You can see me. That little black sphere following me is the audio. So you can see that it's following along that spline. Well, you can sort of see it. But that spline is basically the audio for this water. That's why it's always following me, and it doesn't sound like it's sort of a bunch of point audios. It's just one line that follows me, so that it sounds much more continuous and nice. And that's what we're going to be setting up for the pipe audio that we use. You can also see that if you have headphones in, or stereo sound, I guess, in general. Right now the sound is coming from my left, and right now it's coming from my right. Alright. Yeah, it's basically just where the audio exists. So, let's go ahead and go back here. We're going to call this one Pipe A. Not Pipe A. Pipe A. And I guess we'll call it Outflow A, because I'm terrible at naming things. Except I think that's actually Pipe... It is Pipe A, but I think it's actually Outflow B. Let me go to props. Let me check. Valves, Pipe A. Let's see. Element A, Outflow A. Oh no, it is Outflow A. Okay, good. Then I'm glad that I wasn't stupid, because then if I did it the other way, then this would be B, this would be B, and these would be A, even though they're the second, direction that you're going. All right, so let's turn you back on. We're going to add some points. And if I remember correctly, my one criticism of the sector system is that it doesn't have linear interpolation for its sound, which I really wish it did. It's all smooth curves, which is why everything sort of awkwardly does this looping. And if I actually show the transformation points for this curve spline, it's like really weird positions. They're like sort of poking out of walls because it's got to get the curve to go in the correct directions. I've done both. I've done basically all of the gameplay mechanics are my own code. So everything from, I guess I should actually show that off somewhat. So this is a first-person text-based adventure, and everything from player movement to the interactions with items, the inventory system, how you wear things or equip things or interact with things. I can say wear mask. I have goat vision because I put on a goat mask. I can take mask off. And basically the entire parser is my own stuff. And all the models are my own work, all the textures are my own work. And some of the audio is my own stuff, but for the most part, I just got a library for what I have now because I'm doing mostly placeholder placeholder sound effects for now. And then some of the more advanced scripting things, like this spline-based audio system, is actually part of an asset called Sector, and that's I mainly got it back in Unity 4 because it let you do stuff like level streaming and some occlusion back when occlusion was a pro thing. And that was back before I knew how to optimize, so I needed the occlusion. But for the most part, I'm pretty sparse on the code that's not mine because I enjoy trying to code things on my own since it lets me learn how to do that thing. Anyway, so let's go ahead and we're going to grab this. I'm going to move you here. Of course, it's not even. Of course not. So we're going to go ahead and do this. That would be my phone, and I should turn it off. All right. Well, not turn it off. Turn it on silent. So we're trying to position this just so it's slightly in front of this. So negative 74.5, 0.75. There we go. Just want to be slightly in front of it. And then we're going to start adding points. So I'm guessing, I don't know, probably 6. Actually, probably going to be a little bit more than that. Create empty. We're going to call this point 0, 1. That way when we duplicate it, it will work properly. Boom, 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 boom. All right. So let's go ahead and add this, this, and this, and then this guy. Cool. All right. So let's try to get this set up. So point 2 is going to be slid over here a little bit. And that's going to be fun because it's not quite what we want. 2.75 again. Point 3 is going to come out over here. So you can see that it curves and there's no way for me to control that, which kind of sucks. I really do wish that I could control how the spline is interpreted, but oh well. All right. Let's see. Oh, and I do have bad news. I didn't submit to Indiecade. I wanted to, but it just wasn't in a good spot. It wasn't stable enough for me to make a build and submit it. And I didn't have a build that's recent enough to sort of submit as a placeholder. And I feel terrible because that's definitely something that I should have been able to do. But I didn't. And I'm going to have to live with that for a little bit. That's going to be very painful. All right. Grab 0.5. And for those who haven't or don't know what Indiecade is, it's Independent Games. Well, it's not the IGF. It's not the Independent Games Festival. But it's a. I don't want to use the word festival, but that's kind of appropriate. It's like a convention for independent games. All right. Just kind of blocking things out currently, and then we're going to try our best to get the curves to behave. Yeah. I'm I have not had the best build practices, honestly. It's something that I need to work on a lot, and I'm getting better at it, but it's still stuff that I'm just not great at it yet. Yeah. 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 Alright, so let's go ahead and do a little bit of 2D stuff in Unity at the moment. Can't really think of a reason why I should use interfaces for my item system. Interfaces are kind of overrated. They're really nice if you have to be really, really generic. And in probably 9 out of 10 cases, you don't need to use interfaces. And they're really not necessary unless you have a hugely data-driven structure. Because in that case, let's say that you're, like for example, my entire parser interaction system, there's a base class, but there's not interfaces. And that's because it doesn't really make sense for me to have an interface when everything has to go through one base class anyway, since I want a lot of default behaviors to be explicitly defined. That way, in case I make a new item, I don't have to define a crap ton of stuff again. Okay, so this is going to be fun because we're going to basically be renaming a bunch of things. And this is actually how I got around the transform problem before with these guys, I actually have some sort of buffer transforms. Since these curves are based on what the curvature is from transform to transform, so this curvature right here you can see is calculated based on this point, and this point. That's why it sort of juts out and then goes down here. But if we add a new point here between 1 and 2, it'll actually smooth things out a lot. Yeah, no, interfaces they're okay, and they're functional. There's nothing wrong with them, but it's very easy for things to get sort of unwieldy very quickly, which is why I tend to not use them unless it's necessary. So let's go ahead and let's make this 7. Actually, you know what? No, let's go back to 6, and we're going to do this. We're going to right-click, duplicate array, and we're going to drag 7 here. That didn't work. Actually, no, that did work. That's exactly what I want. Then we're going to duplicate 2, drag it out by 1, and then we will move 8 to B2. This is why we're going to eventually rename them. Oh, and this is a fun thing. I didn't think to tell you guys this. If you're working with arrays in Unity, and you want to sort of have a... Oh, really? No, that's dumb. Why is that? Hold on. I might have done something stupid. 0.83. No, that's right. Let's see. Especially because I'm using the XML file format to implement simple items with default use. Yeah. It's yeah. Yeah. Like Garrett says, there is such a thing as over-engineering, and it is possible to spend so much time designing such like a sort of generic system that it becomes almost worthless in its own right. You should be like this. Maybe it's because of. Oh, that shouldn't actually do that. I might be trying to interpolate based on several curves. Of course. Well, in any case, let's go ahead and duplicate this. Drag 9 before 3. Move it out a couple. Let's move it out to here. And we'll move it up to 1. And then we'll come back here. Duplicate 8. So like I was saying, this you can actually right-click on array elements to duplicate them. Oh, good. We got a reverse loop. And it's not useful for most cases, but it's nice if you want to put things in sequential order and you don't have to, like add one element, then move everything into the correct position, and then add the new element to its correct spot. You can just right-click where you want to go and say duplicate element or delete array element, which does the exact opposite. You can delete a single array element that's in the middle of your array. So it's a nice little shortcut to learn. So we're going to duplicate this one. Let's move this guy here. Past 3, and then we're going to duplicate 3 and drag 10 in. There we go. It seems to be really just sort of stretching out really awkwardly. Maybe I need to give it a little bit more of a buffer space. So let me drag 9. Yep. Fair enough. I'll drag 10 out a little bit more. There we go. That's a little bit more what I was expecting. And that means that 2 back here is going to need to be dragged out a little bit differently. So let's grab 8. Although it does give us a little bit of a bump, which is unfortunate. That is not great. Although I might be able to get rid of that. I guess I would have to sort of smoothly grab the... Yep, okay, I got to do that. Dang it. Oh, and it's not perfect. It's I don't know what their spline code or their spline curve is trying to do. That is messed up. Yeah, I actually started to write my own spline code for stuff like this. But I started looking into the math of it, and I don't have the time right now to do it. I'm interested in developing a tool that lets me generate splines, nice and easy. Even though I already have some asset packages that can do that, but 9 times out of 10, the reason that I end up using my own code is because I don't like the way that the code is put together for certain assets, or the way that the asset itself just handles things. So, it's not great. But I wonder if that means that I probably can actually get rid of 2, I think, and I can delete this array element. That curve's not perfect, but it's better. Yeah, and a lot of the spline stuff is it's way more complicated than it should be, because I shouldn't have to, make a bunch of dummy sort of handles. Basically, I should just be able to say, I want these splines to be linearly interpolated, so they're just straight lines. And I mean, it makes sense for them to default to curved, obviously, because most things are going to be gentle curves, but it's weird that they don't have a linear option, because linear is easier to code. So the sound we're going to be using for magic, and of course it closed it, okay. Actually, you know what, we'll go ahead and set that up so that I don't have to find it again, even though I'm going to have to go find it again real quick. I'm going to go to intro, castle. So I have another sort of instance of magic right now in use, and it's forming magic barriers. And I was just going to take that sound effect and use it for now, because I like the low hum that it has. So let me grab the... Here we go. The audio being used by these guys. So it's this sound. Which is, it sounds a little artificial, but then what I do is I tone it down, I pitch shift it down a little bit, and then I quiet the volume, so I just want a little hum, nothing too dramatic, because really the water itself should be the main audio cue for the scene, and these pipes will more or less just be a nice little addition. So let's go to sector audio. And this is one of my other problems with audio for sector, is that I have to put this like really weird, I have to make sector audio clips basically, and that's really awkward. Okay, so I think what I want to do is, I gotta remember how to do this. I think I can create, can I just drag it in? I thought there was a way to do that. It's been a while since I've done this. I think I might actually have to make a new one. Let me see. I'm going to cheat and just put it right here for now. So let's go to create, sector, audio, audio cue. Okay, yeah, that's what I need. Delete that then. And then I will find this one. Uh-oh. What did I just delete, if not the audio cue? Okay. I feel like I right-clicked and deleted something without meaning to, because it didn't delete the audio cue. Ugh, that always makes me nervous. Alright. I think I'll just go ahead and go back to audio here. Something's recompiling. That's never a good sign. Oh, come on, Unity. What's wrong? It's hanging right now. Come on. Okay, I didn't delete this. Well, I don't know what happened, but I deleted something and it wasn't what I thought. I'm gonna check I'm gonna check this real quick. Oh, I guess no, that's something else. Let's see, flavor text. Oh. What the heck? How did that even get deleted? Okay, fun. Well, we're going to revert that real quick. Yay! I love it when Unity does that. It hangs, and then when you right-click and delete, it actually selects a new folder and deletes it. So what it just did is it deleted my content creation assets. Go figure. Really revert the entire folder, yes. That's probably going to take a little bit. Shouldn't take too long, but I've never reverted with Unity Collaborate, so we're on an adventure together. So yeah, I guess when it hung after creating that audio cue, it accidentally deleted my content creation asset folder, which has a bunch of my 3D content creation stuff, like importing meshes, making materials, adding your own textures and whatnot. And I would prefer not to have to remake all of that by hand again. That would make me sad. Fortunately, that explains why it hung a little bit and had to recompile. Fortunately, it's not terribly large. It's just this folder. So it had some materials in it, some prefabs for generating stuff, and then some views. So I'm gonna check collaborate again. Good. That's all that should be changed. As I say, I've done nothing else. Do not make a lot of changes. So audio. Let's go to sector, cues, intro, sewers, and then we're gonna add a new one. So create sector, audio, queue. We have a new sector audio queue. I'm going to go ahead and rename this to pipe magic loop, I guess. I don't know if I need to. I'll keep the loop on there just so that I know. All right. So we're going to probably get pretty close to what the water loop is doing, just because I remember that setup was fairly well done. So we're going to have loops, volume of 0.25, and we'll say 0.25 max, so it's fairly small. We're going to down pitch. Let's see, I think I down pitched this a little bit to 0.9. Okay. So we'll come back here. Man, that inspector takes forever to load. So we're going to say 0.9 and 0.9. That way it pitches down a little bit to make it sort of sound deeper. What is better to start with? Definitely single player. By client based, do you mean like trying to have a internet connection, communicating with a client sort of application, and then talking to a server for multiplayer? Because multiplayer is always way more complicated than single player. Because you have to worry about stuff like syncing your animations, or syncing your position and rotation at the very least, and it just adds a bunch of problems. So let's see. Hold on. I want to grab that. I'm going to drag in the sector audio bus. Right there. It just takes forever to go between these two. It kills me. I don't know why this has fade in and fade out time and this one doesn't. It's weird. Don't have any delay on it. Don't need any play probability. Don't need any spread. No priority. No bypass. No. I think everything's fine. I am kind of just eyeballing and trying to get these two. You know what would be really smart of me, instead of trying to go back and forth, would be if I just freaking did this. Inspector. And then I can. Well, I probably should actually just put it over here. Oh, come on. Work with me. Okay. Then what we'll do is we'll lock this and select freaking sewer pipe magic loop. That way I can look at both of them at the same time. Okay. So let's see. Fall off distance, max distance of 15. The normal network behavior from Unity. So you have a client, which is oddly enough a server at the same time. Yeah. Honestly, again, I'd still say single player. Just because when you have that sort of client server, even when the server is technically just another client, when you have that relationship, everything gets really, really muddled really, really quickly. And it can become incredibly frustrating to get even the most basic thing to properly work. Yeah, and technically what what most servers really have to do if you want to use Unity's networking straight up and like any form, I think, is you're technically supposed to have basically a headless instance of Unity running the actual application or the game you're making. And that is how you have a server, is you do sort of have that weird client, like server that's technically a client running everything on a server. It's just like a headless instance of it. Yeah, it's really not great. And honestly, networking in Unity is just really freaking nuts. So we're going to drag this in. Boom! There we go. Alright, so just quick glance back and forth real quick. Nope, all that's the same. Linear. Occlusion scale of 1. Occlusion scale means that it can actually be occluded between, like behind walls, which is pretty cool. Although I haven't messed with that very much. I feel like I should do more of that. Don't need to add parameters. All the audio clips are fine. Okay. Cool. So I think that's pretty good. We'll probably end up tweaking that a little bit more. nothing crazy from it, but we'll probably end up making it quieter or have at least. Actually, this should probably be like 1 and a max distance of 2. So I'm going to move this off to the left for now. Let's see. And, wrong button. Now let's go back to our sewers, and then we'll add the audio to it. The new 5x networking is kind of... Oh yeah, no, the old Unity was way worse. It was just... I mean, there's a reason that Photon is as big as it is. Because the old Unity was garbage. The old Unity networking, that is. It's the same reason that, you know... It pretty much had the same thought process as all the other Unity sort of services. It existed, but it was terrible and it wasn't worth trying to use it. So you would get Photon for multiplayer. For UI, you would get NGUI. For a lot of streaming stuff, actually, you would get Sector. Sector was a really nice level streaming and audio solution. Yeah, it's just you had a lot of asset stuff on the asset store taking care of the shortcomings of Unity's own components. Audio pipes, pipe outflow A. Okay. Then we're going to grab point 4. We're going to duplicate that. So duplicate that. There we go. Move that over here. And real quick, we might as well just go ahead and do this. Duplicate this. Put that there. So we're going to put 11 and then there. All right. So between here, we're going to duplicate that, and then we're going to duplicate that. Put you here, put you here. Wow, this is like the least informative thing ever that I'm saying. Browser exploded. Ugh, that's brutal. Let me try sliding 4 over just a little bit. Nope. Okay, fine. God, it just... It drives me nuts that we have these curved bumps here. Why? Why? Is it too much to ask for linear interpolation? Oh, well. I mean, I could probably get rid of it by doing that, too, I suppose. Like, trying to fine-tune it. Just, Look at your health class. Sure, if you want to post it, I'll take a look at it. Once I get this audio stuff, for this pipe finished up, I will. Let's see, so we're going to duplicate 5 to give us this buffer again. Yeah, work with me here. I haven't disallowed links, but I don't know if Twitch by default prevents that. I think it does. I don't know. You can post it and see what happens. I know that links tend to break somehow, usually. So let's duplicate... Actually, no, we don't want to duplicate that at all. That should be fine. So let's put this back up here. Grab this. We're going to duplicate 12. Put in 13 here. Okay, so that gives us a little bit more of a gentle curve. And now we're going to be able to just sort of go ahead in order like we expected. Move this out here. And then we'll probably just want to do something like this. Oh, careful. Alright, so I'm going to add 14, I believe. That didn't quite go as I was hoping, but probably fix that by... Oh, don't do that. Duplicate. There we go. So one more, I think we'll do it. So 15. Let's grab 16, and there we go. So the curve is a little dramatic, but it should work. All right. So real quick, I'm going to assign my audio. And then we'll try it, I think. So we're going to have it just play on start. I'm not going to worry about it. And the volume I'm going to say is going to be 0.5. Actually, you know what? We'll make it 0.25. It should be pretty dang quiet. And then I'll take a look at that health script. Play. You should not take this long to play. You Really shouldn't take this long to play. That makes me nervous. Uh, hmm. This is never a good thing. There we go. Oh, look at that. Well, something happened. On the bright side, our audio works. Oh my god, I don't know what happened. I'm scared. I'm also taking screenshots because it's awesome. I mean, it's terrible, but it's also kind of awesome. Looks like it's the emissive channel somehow being messed up. Oh, and the pipes are invisible entirely. Okay. Yeah, this is really weird. Ah. I don't know why this happened. But I'm loving it. And I'm going to fly around. Oh, it's like the N64 version of the game. Terrible textures and lighting. Okay. Well, so that happened. I don't know why it happened, but it did happen. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what that did. I think it's because I don't want it to actually play on start. I think I need to actually tell it to play. Otherwise, it's going to null out because it doesn't know what is supposed to be listening to it. Since the player does not spawn in, like the player doesn't always exist in the scene, they get spawned in. And I think the pipe or the sector audio actually tries to pick up where it should go as soon as the scene starts, but that happens before my player spawns in. So it just breaks because it doesn't know where to go. Um, so, oh my god, it broke all of my substances. It's still cool, but also terrifying. Probably not going to take too many screenshots of this. Okay. I think I just have to generate all of my substances again. So I'm going to go over to the castle. Because by switching scenes and coming back, it should force them all to generate. Well, no, it's not got anything to do with deleting, or at least it shouldn't. So now if I go back to sewers, it should regenerate all of those substances. Oh, good, it's not. Which means that I need to do this. Who wants to have fun and regenerate all of this? Doop. Shazam! I have no idea why this works. Probably because it forces it to re-import those textures. So it's like a weird thing with the textures, where the textures all get set to 0 by 0 pixels, and by selecting them and editing them, I can force them to regenerate. So you'll see that we'll slowly start getting our textures correct. And we'll slowly start getting more and more stuff in the scene as we go. Yeah, substances are weird. They don't. Sometimes they're not worth the trouble, but other times, it's really nice because it does let me do a bunch of cool stuff like texture animation and easy physically based material generation. Get rid of all this stuff. So now you can see that our substances in the scene are back to normal pretty much. All right. Oh, really? You regenerated without me telling you to. That's kind of nice. Wait. Okay, fine, whatever. Now I gotta crank all of them back up to 16. Screw it, I want to do it all at once. $16. Alright, so now everything's generated again. And I'm guessing the reason that that broke is because whenever I start the scene, it has to regenerate all of those substances unless they're cached. And for the most part, they are cached on my computer. That's why they generate so fast, but they still need to at least regenerate and be cached in the game's logic itself. So not 100% great, but it works. Anyway, Dropbox. Let's show this. Let's open this up. Let's see what happens. Different line endings. You do not need to serialize a public field, or at least you shouldn't, unless something in network behavior is, which I assume it's not, is hiding that. But yeah, public fields by default are serialized, so you don't have to serialize them. If you want, yeah, this would be something that you want to serialize. You would serialize private fields if you want to display them in the editor. But I'm assuming. Oh, but you. That's fine. If it's your own coding standard. I don't think it adds any performance overhead because that's all editor stuff. I assume that's ignored at runtime. Let's see. So you have your sync var, so that's going to synchronize over the network. Oh, you don't initialize your sync var though. Come on. I like to initialize all my stuff. It looks like you do too, but that one didn't. Animator equals null. Yeah, the sync var is. Yeah, I've done a little bit with the networking, so I have a rough understanding of how it works. But I don't know how to do like really in-depth stuff. Like I got as far as having a game running with multiple people showing up and having them interpolate properly, but I didn't go too far with it. So you have a coroutine. Actually, for this, by the way, you can actually, there's a coroutine class that Unity uses. So if you want to have a coroutine referenced, you can actually say protected coroutine. And really, I thought you could, like, you can't just say equals 0f there. I thought you could. Maybe you can't. Weird. Okay. Well, then I guess it probably has to be initialized at runtime. Although I do have, this is going to sound incredibly nitpicky, but you should always have f after your floats. That is, I think it's because if you don't have f, it interprets it as a double, or maybe it interprets it as an int and then casts it to a float. Because I know if you don't have an f and you do like 0.0, it tries to cast it as a double, and then you get some weird errors. So I always do f afterwards to let people know it's a float. Of course, if it's your own code, then it doesn't really matter. It does it as an int, yeah. Yeah, I think by default, if it doesn't have f, it tries to do an int. But I wasn't sure if since it was a float, it tried to go to a double by default. I think to get a double, you do have to do like the .0 thing. So you set your health here equals max health. Yeah. Animator equals game object dot get component. You don't actually need game object for this. You can actually just say get component, and that will automatically do that for you. And that will not throw a null reference. So this try catch is pointless here, because if you have a get component animator and there is no component, it will just set it to be null. So it won't actually throw any references because you're just saying animator equals null. And update if animator does not equal null. Animator.setFloat health. Do you want to do that in update? Because that means that even if the health value has not changed, you're going to keep setting the animator value. So if you're going to do that, you might want to have a private float or something that's like private float cached health or previous health equals 0 or whatever. And then down here in update, instead of saying animator does not, if animator does not equal null and setting its float, you would probably want to say and previous health does not equal health. That way you don't keep setting this behavior, because there's no point in doing that if it doesn't change. If health is less than or equal to 0 and not invulnerable, excuse me, debug game object name reaches 0 or less health, that's fine. Stop coroutine, coroutine. Okay, that works too. And if destroy after death, debug.log game object name, blah blah blah, and invoke self-destruct and destroy delay. Okay. Probably fine. I try not to do invoking, just because I've never liked the invoke system for Unity, because it can get kind of awkward. But I can understand doing that as a quick and dirty way of doing something with a delay on it. So kill, health equals 0, and then that would automatically trigger all this stuff. Hurt. Oh. And more coding conventions. This is the coding convention stuff you're free to ignore. It's just my own personal style. But I always capitalize my functions, so revive would be with a big R. And I do that just so that it's immediately obvious that something is not a variable, since variables have lowercase camel case. But functions should have uppercase camel case where the first letter is capitalized as well. That's the way I tend to do things, at least. I also do like new line braces, but again, that's all nitpicking. It does not have anything to do with the actual code itself. Hurt, if health is greater than or equal to damage. Health minus equal damage, health equals 0. That works. You could probably, what you probably should do is, instead of doing if health is greater than or equal to damage, you should just say pretty much just this, health minus equal damage, and then you would say after that, if health is less than 0, then health equals 0. So that shortens your code down to 2 lines as opposed to the sort of if-else statement that you have. Public void heal, float heal. Let's see. I like that I've kind of just sidetracked for a little bit while I look at scripts. I'm probably going to try to get through this before 8, and then we'll switch back to text quest. Let's see. So max health minus health is less than or equal to heal. Again, same thing. I would just do the health plus equals heal. If health is greater than max health, health equals max health. Same thing. Shortens it a lot. Damage over time. This is your coroutine. Looks like. So float damage, dot amount, dot time. Okay. Damage over time. Start coroutine. That's fine. Damage per dot. Damage divided by dot amount. I is less than dot amount. I plus. Hurt damage per dot. Okay. So that means that your... Okay, so I get it. I'm trying to sort of figure it out. So that means like the dot time is your delay. So this isn't necessarily damage over time. It's actually damage in intervals over time. Because damage over time, I would assume like you have 10 health, you get hit, you'll lose, 1 health over 1 second, or you'll lose 5 health over 5 seconds. So that'd be 1 health per second on average. But it would be a gradual shift as opposed to like whole chunks getting cut out. But I mean, it's the same sort of either way. It's just slightly different in how it's interpreted. Self-destruct destroys the game object. You should always be careful when you have a script destroying itself because that can lead to odd behavior. It's not necessarily a game ender, but it's certainly something to keep an eye on. And then cancel self-destruct. Oh, that's doing the cancel invoke. Yeah, and that's another reason I don't do the whole cancel or the whole invoke thing, because I don't like canceling invokes. I mean, on the whole, it seems functional. It's hard to tell straight up based on whatever else is going on in the scene, but it seems like there's no huge errors there. It's mostly just sort of minor tweaks and efficiency stuff to update. All right, so I'm gonna get back to Unity or back to TextQuest right after I take a drink. And then we can get back to volumetric audio. So, oh crap, I forgot I took a bunch of screenshots. Dang it. Give me a second. We're gonna, we'll leave them in there for now. Okay, so the next thing we need to do, this is gonna suck. We're gonna go to props, valves, and then we're gonna go to dial GI listener, which I think I already have pulled up. Yeah, reload all this. Yeah, I mean, invokes work. I just find them to be a little messy. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and go to dial GI listener. We're going to say using, I believe we want to say sector. Really? I thought there was a sector. Maybe not. Okay. We're going to add a new list here. So public list, sector audio. Nope. We want sector. Spline, if I could type, spline source, target audio equals new, and real quick, I want to look up, I'm going to go ahead and close a bunch of my combat scripts because I don't need them right now. But yeah, that was me experimenting with combat stuff last night. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and open up our sewers manager. I want to see, what did I call it? Okay, so I did just call it a spline source. So these audios are going to, that's a terrible word. These target audio splines are going to basically be activated or deactivated based on what the dial is doing. So we're going to say, we're probably just going to change this from update materials to update dial. So let's rename this to, oh, I can't because I call it update dial. That doesn't work. Then we'll just call it, we'll keep it update materials for now. And then what we're going to do here is instead of saying just r.material equals active mat and setting the dynamic GI to be a certain color, we're also going to add a call to our target audio here. And we're going to say r. Nope. We're not going to put that there. We're going to go underneath this for each loop and we're going to say for each audio target. No, not audio type. I guess it's going to be sector spline source target in target audio. Okay, really? Target. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, okay, I can't call it target because man, I really need to look at my own code to make sure that I'm not being stupid. Sector spline source. I'm just going to call it source in target dot target audio. And we're going to do this whole sort of if statement again. And then else. Then we're going to say source dot, I think we want to just say play. And otherwise it's going to be source dot stop. Okay. I think, what, really? Oh, yeah, stop immediately will be true. Bam. There we go. Okay, so that should pretty much take care of it, I think. All right. So what that's going to do is on these pipes or on these valves, we're going to have a new array element show up that's going to be our actual audio splines. And then we should be able to get the audio properly working without killing all of our substances. once it compiles. And I don't think I need to... Yeah, I don't need to add anything up here, really. So we have target audio, and this is going to be 1 for now. We're just going to go ahead and make it our pipe A, outflow A. Okay, so let's leave that and let's play. See what happens. So we should get a... Assuming that my scripts don't die. Oh no, this long generation time makes me nervous. Okay, good. Ugh. Maximize on play. Alright, so let's... I might need to change the speed on the water, because it looks like when you're running, it almost looks like it's standing still, which is not a good thing. Okay, so we're going to rotate this left. Nope. No! Wait, no, there it is. Oh, I just have to be really, really close to it. Sort of hear it. Kind of. Hold on. Kind of feel like it's getting occluded somehow. Maybe it's... Well, I mean, I don't want it to be too loud, so I kind of do just want you to have to smash your face against it to really hear it. You can sort of hear it, but... I am starting to add more audio stuff in right now. And hello, Harshik! Welcome to the stream. We're doing volumetric audio for the magic flowing pipes. So when the pipes have magic turned on, I want to have a little hum coming from them. I kind of don't like that low hum right there, actually, because it sounds like it's like a weird enough frequency that I'm not liking it. I don't know what's happening, but it's not a good sound. Weird. Okay. Well, thank you. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's another substance. I gotta generate that. Okay. Well, thank you for saying it looks fantastic. So let's go ahead and set up the next audio for it. So we're gonna have a lot of audio splines by the end of this. So we're gonna have, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8. Probably just gonna have 8, not 9. That's a lot of splines. 8 audio splines total for the pipes. All right. Well, thank you for stopping by, Lizer. Always welcome. I always enjoy getting people to watch the stream. Makes me feel like a small victory. Okay. So we're going to go back to pipes. We're going to add a new empty object. We're going to call this pipe A. And you know what? We're actually just going to move pipe A outflow A to be below that. We're just going to call this pipe A outflow A. And then we'll have a new empty object and call it outflow B. Boom. So will this mostly be story focused or open world? Oh, and from Germany, it's 2 a.m. there. I tried streaming earlier. I can't stream any earlier than 7 p.m. I want to try so hard, but I work until 5 at least. Hopefully I'll do better than that. But thank you for stopping by. So it'll be mostly story focused or open world. It's going to be probably a little bit more open world than story focused. There is definitely going to be a story, and it's going to sort of be told mostly through the interactions that you have with items, and very sparse. Like the intro to the game itself is kind of almost a lie, because there's you have this cut. There's very small cutscene at the very beginning that shows the wizard showing up and turning the king to stone. And that is pretty much as like cutscene and as much of an exposition dump as I want to do. Everything else is going to be done through the interactions, through the puzzle, and through just sort of actually exploring the world and finding treasures. Um, and there is an overarching story, which is, you got to find the wizard to turn the king back to normal. But I don't want to just. I'm not going to have. Ironically enough, I'm not going to do text dumps. So there's never going to be this like massive person that you talk. This person you talk to who just talks and talks and talks and talks and says like, this is the world that we're in, and this is who this person is, and you should watch out because of this. No, it's mostly going to be pretty much you just wander around, you find some things, and I'm hoping that I can make the story intuitive enough and interesting enough from very small cues that I can sort of just tell the story with very sparse sort of narrative design. So I'm basically trying to do a lot with a little, would be my answer to that. So it's going to be mostly focused on exploration with story elements sort of sprinkled throughout it, which hopefully will be interesting for people. I've never done that before, so I'm confident in it, but, my confidence does not stand for much. So, we're going to copy this transform, copy component. We're going to paste this value, so we get snapped right there. We're going to move you over 1. Oh, dang it. It's going to move over 1.5 then. Oh, stop that. 26.5. Okay, 24 point. No, 25.5. There we go. Aha! It will be. In fact, fun, on the speedrunner thing, I actually do kind of had a weird version, like a variant of speedrunning. It actually keeps track of how many words you say, how many sentences you say, and how many, and how long it takes you to complete everything, as well as how many of the treasures you find. So there's definitely going to be some sort of, if not speedrunning, like optimal running challenges. So, beat the game in under 300 words, or something like that. Or beat the game in under 300 sentences, or beat the game in 20 minutes. I don't know if it would technically be possible to beat the game in 20 minutes. But then again, the speedrunning community is very good at finding glitches, and I have no idea where those are in my game. I haven't gotten to the phase where I'm actually trying to catch all of those sort of movement-based glitches. I don't have bunny hopping intentionally, and so unfortunately you can't, do that. But, alright. So I'm going to copy this component, paste it onto B, and then we're going to change our spline points down to 0. Instead, we're going to make a new object, call this point 1, and then we're going to start adding new points. So duplicate, come on, duplicate. Point 2, and I'm just going to roughly position them for now. So there's going to be point 3. Here's going to be point 4. I really wish I had some, oh, you know what? I might do that. Okay, I might do that. Yay, fun stuff. So we're going to work with what are called gizmos. So let's go to, I don't know, extensions, scripts. Alright, so we're going to create C# script, audio line point. Any plans to demo this game at an event? Yes, so I'm going to be at Indie PopCon, which is in Indianapolis, Indiana, which for probably everyone on the stream except for me is super far away, but it's actually an hour away from me, since I live in the middle of nowhere, also known as the Midwest. But I'm going to be at Indie PopCon. That's going on June 17th through the 19th. So it's in a couple of weeks, and it's a sort of medium-sized convention for video games and internet pop culture stuff. So you get a lot of YouTube people there. There are a lot of there's a decent amount of indie games there. See, namespace, text quest. And I've gone for the past 2 years. This is its 3rd year. So I'm gonna have a booth there, not a booth, a table there to demo the game, so people can come and play it. And then I'm gonna try to get some form of. Ideally, I'll be able to get this demo out and actually release it, because I'm trying to polish up the demo currently. Yeah, everyone's far away from Indiana, which is the problem. That's why there's nothing out here. Um, okay, so we're gonna say private void on draw gizmos. I think it's that, yeah. And then we're gonna say gizmos dot draw. And we don't want to draw a cube. We want to draw. Let's see, draw sphere. And we're just going to say transform dot center dot position, and we'll give it a radius of, I don't know, 0.25 f. That's probably enough. And we're going to say gizmos dot color equals, excuse me, color dot blue. Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get the demo that I've been working on for so long. I'm gonna try to actually get it polished up and ready to ship, and then I'll have to have my hand on the button for a while before I decide if I want to actually release the demo or not. Because if I release the demo super early, no one's gonna care when the game itself comes out. And the problem is that the demo, my plan is to basically, since I'm emulating, and trying to revive text-based adventures, which were from the 70s and 80s, I want to use an economic model from back then, which is shareware. So I'm going to make the first 2 levels of Text Quest free. And then what you can do is, if you like those first 2 levels, then you can buy the full game and just start right off from where you last saved. So you don't have to start a new game. And I think that these first 2 levels have a very, very strong showcase of all the things that you'll do in Text Quest. And it's not everything, and it's certainly not the most impressive stuff. That stuff comes later on. But it does show you what the game is going to be like. So that's something that I have to decide on fairly soon. Okay. Drag these guys here. So these audio points will now be blue dots. Hooray! So I can click on them instead of, clicking on everything but the audio dots. And what I should do is actually do this. If transform dot parent equals null, and oh god, I don't remember what it is. I think it's editor. Oh god. Selection. No, okay. Hold on. Let me get this. Using Unity Editor. There should be something like editor utility selected. Editor utility dot select. Dang it! I don't remember what it's called. Let me look it up real quick. Have I thought about DLC? DLC is a complicated subject. I would probably be more comfortable releasing like an expansion. So rather than a small DLC, like a whole new adventure almost, which at that point isn't an expansion, it's a game. It's a whole separate sequel. But what I'm planning on doing is having user-generated content. So you can actually... if we can get this. It is selection. Okay. I was right. And... selection. Haha! Dot select target. What was it? So hold on. Selection dot object. Here we go. Dot objects. Can I say dot contains? Nope. Of course not. I can't say this. I don't think because it's an array. So yeah. I'm planning on trying to support custom user-generated content. So I'm sort of tinkering with an editor to let people make their own both traditional 2D text-based adventures and 3D text-based adventures with the game engine itself in game, and you can just export a single file that will have all of that content in it. Then people can share it and play everyone else's games, and I really want to encourage that community. But in terms of DLC, I don't really know what I could add because I feel like DLC, the best DLC adds to the game, and I really want to come out swinging and just put everything that I can think of. Well, not everything I can think of. Everything that's going to make the game great um, into the game itself. And I don't really know how I would be able to fit new content like new levels in, since the game itself is not meant to. It's not this like sprawling thing. So adding in like a whole new sort of continent to explore, for example, or a whole new like 7 levels to explore, feels like it's more spinning the wheels than actually getting anywhere. I'm kind of not leaning towards DLC, but I am leaning towards updating like what can be done with the game itself. When in doubt, portals. Yeah. Well, I actually need to look at some of that. Um, so I released a demo of Wandy. Yeah, and hats. Yeah. I released a demo of Wandy back in January. One problem is that it got reviewed by a site. Yeah, and that's the other thing is that you only get a chance to make a first impression once, which is why I've tried. I do technically have a demo up on the website, but it's from like a year ago, and it's not terrible, but it doesn't have any of the substance stuff in it. It doesn't have any of the. I mean, it has some of the levels in there, but they're not nearly what they are now. Um, it doesn't have a lot of mechanics in there. I mean, it has some again, but it's not everything, and it's really just a rough pass. So I'm more happy showing it at conventions, and then as I get closer to releasing the full game, what I'll probably do is say like as the release date gets closer, I will um, I will release the demo like a week early, or maybe 3 days early or something like that, so close to the release date. That way people can get started, and then they'll be able to decide, oh, this is fun, I want to play more, or oh, this guy is shit, I don't want to play any of his games ever again, and I hope he dies. I hope it's not the latter, but, I assume people will say that. I assume at least one person will say that. Exactly that. Um, anyway, so, of course, they make it an array and not a, let's see, yeah, this is dumb. Don't know why they didn't make it a list. They wanted to make it hard, so we're going to say using system.link contains. I don't think I need to say that. There we go. Or transform.parent does not equal null, and selection dot object. Oh wait, dot contains. Oh, can I really just do that? Oh, well that's nice. That's way better. Parent. Boom. So I don't have to do this. That means I don't need link anymore. And I can just say dot contains. See, isn't that nice? Unity did think ahead for once. I really am way too hard on Unity. Yeah, and Germany is pretty far away from Indiana. Don't do anything too cool. I doubt we'll do anything too cool. I'm gonna change this from drawsphere to drawsphere wireframe though. Draw wiresphere. Okay, so we'll let that go, and then we're gonna add an editor folder so that that doesn't try to compile. Of course, it's all capitalized. Because that is using Unity Editor, which means that if I try to make a build with this there, it's going to throw errors. Shazam, compile. I really do need like a... Actually, no, I don't. I don't need a webcam. I always think, I should get a webcam, and then I realize you guys would see the weird things that I do whenever I'm waiting for things to compile. Like I make weird hand gestures. I am a 5-year-old in a man's body. Go figure. Okay, so you'll see that now they are not rendering. All right, Garrett. Thanks for stopping by. Always good to have you. So you'll see that they are not rendering anymore, and that is because... Oh, hold on. Uh-oh. Oh, okay, never mind. It's compiling still. So they're not rendering anymore, and that is because we do not have that criteria that we set up correct. So if we click on outflow B, well, why aren't you doing that? Well, maybe not. Oh, what the heck? That's super weird. Okay. Oh, I wonder if it's the editor? Oh. Right. Crud. Hmm. Okay, then we'll have to do a contextual compile. Yay! Who's ready for programming fun? So there are some nice contextual things that you can do with Unity. And in cases like this, where, like I said, if I made a build with the audio spline point script not in an editor folder, then it'll get compiled into the regular solution file, which means that it would throw errors because there is no Unity editor namespace or sort of class. I guess that's actually a namespace. There's no namespace called Unity editor at runtime. So what we have to do here, super fun, is open this up and change this to basically have the entire class just say, no, I don't want to do that. I think I can just say this. We're going to do a hash and say, or octal, I believe is what it's actually called. If Unity editor, we don't do that. And then we're going to say end if, and then we're going to do the same thing down here. Ta-da! And the reason we do that is so these lines, of course I'm going to have to save it. Hold on. Advanced save options, Windows, and line endings. So the reason that we add this is this line right here, if Unity editor, with the hash in front of it, means that this line right here and these lines will only be compiled if our current platform is defined to be the Unity editor. If it's not, these lines might as well not exist. They just don't, they won't do anything. So now if I were to make a build, it won't throw an error because those lines don't exist and this reference to Unity editor does not exist. Actually, you know what, I'm going to simplify my code. I'm just going to say this. Yeah, I'm just going to do that. That way I don't have it in two separate places. And I'm also going to do this. There we go. Okay, so now that should compile again. It shouldn't be weird. I didn't think about that, moving an editor file into an editor folder, even though it was a mono behavior. Alright, getting a drink. Ah. Okay, so now we look at these. Really? Was I just trying to be too smart for my own good? I kind of feel like I was. Darn it. Not much. You did not miss much. I fixed a compile error from me being dumb. Because I tried to put a mono behavior script in an editor folder, which would cause weirdness to happen. If transform.parent equals null, and Unity editor dot selection contains this, or transform dot parent does not equal null, and Unity editor selection dot contains. You know what? I'm actually just going to do this. So I'm going to say, even if its parent isn't selected, if it is, then it should show up. So, why are you not drawing? It should be drawing a wire sphere. Maybe on-draw gizmos isn't working properly. Let me debug this. This should be going, and there's no reason for me to be doing this right now, but I want to, and I've started, so I'm going to. It's something I have to do now. Because, like I said, it does make it easier to adjust the points when I can see where the points reside in relation to each other, instead of having to try and sort of mentally map that out. So we'll let that go. We'll let that go. Come on. Come on. Okay. So we have no... Really, that's super weird. Well, fine. Then we won't try to be smart, and you can all just... be fine. We'll just have it we'll just have it draw everywhere, forever, and all time. Compile. I guess it could also be that I have the compile commands below messed up. I didn't think I did. It should be defined as Unity editor. Let me see. There it is. So no, it wasn't that. It was just me being weird. No. And I am definitely going to just make them be a sphere, so I can click on them a little bit easier. Because the wireframes are nicer, but since they don't take up as much visual information, but they're harder to click on, so they lose. So let's also get rid of the environment stuff. And come on. And blue spheres. And blue spheres. I will get this. Why does it take so long to compile? Do they show? I don't know if they show or not. I hope they don't show in front of everything. Oh, good. So only wireframes show in front of everything else. That's kind of convenient. All right, so now we can do what we were doing before, which is setting up our audio. So we are going to let's move you over here. And see, it's already nicer because we can have a visual sort of idea of what our path will look like. Even though since it's curved, it's not going to look quite like that, but let's get two in here. Get another one out here. Another one out here. Another one. Drag it all the way over here. F. Get another one. Put it in the corner. Get another one. Move it over here. New one. New one. New one. Put it over here. Oh, actually, hold on. Almost messed up. Put this one right here. Put this one sort of like right here, roughly. And this one's going to go right there. Ah, this is going to be fun. Duplicate that. Hold on. Let's move this one back down. I'll have this one. Let's move it down. Duplicate this. Put it up. Duplicate this. Move it over. Duplicate. See, here's where it would be nice to have some sort of like click on an object to place a point tool, which I could probably put together, but it would be more time than it's worth for now. And I don't mind doing it this way. It's just not the optimal experience that I would prefer. Okay. Also, this is a lot of points. And I wouldn't have to place them if I could just have linear interpolation. But I can't. Because I don't deserve it, apparently. This is going to be super fun. Let's duplicate this, put you there, duplicate you, put you in the middle, duplicate you, put you there. Alright. We're going to have some smaller duplicates, and then I'm not going to really go crazy with the audio here. So even though these pipes, it's kind of hard to see in the dark, even though these pipes come together here, I'm not going to have the audio try to like curve in, because there's no way the player can actually get that high. So you can't listen to that anyway, so there's no point in putting in the effort for it. So that, all of those blue dots are our audio spline. And that is 35. 35 points, which is ridiculous. Oy. Now I wish I had some sort of auto-populate. Drag this in, drag this in. Gotta be careful not to drag them out of order. Drag this. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Tooling really is an underappreciated art in Unity, and this is something that I want to do more of. Actually, I wonder if I could do some sort of like right-click on a component or a array and say fill with selection, something like that. That would be pretty nice. I would be very impressed if I could do that, but I don't know if it's impossible or not, technically. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. And what we might end up doing, just because this has a lot of sort of setup to it, we might set up the points of the audio. Well, no, if I set up the points, I might as well do the whole thing. 35, perfect. Boom. All right. So let's start adjusting this curve. I'm going to have to freeform it. I love to snap, but because these are all gentle curves, I can't snap. I have to actually freeform it. It kills me. I hate being freeform. It's too imprecise. Move this up, move this down. Right there should be fine. Let's move it in a little bit on the spline. Out a little bit. Let's move you in. Oops, wrong thing. Move you in a little bit. We're going to grab these three guys, I think. No, it's going to be you, you, and you. Alright, so let's move you into here, which means we're going to move this guy really far in. See, the curvature is completely bonkers. It's like smooth, but it's not smooth in a singular smooth way. It's like smooth and then smoothed. I don't know what their algorithm is doing, but I don't like it. I really don't. Let's drag you in, move you up this way. And I think this is a little too... Ah, crap. Darn it. I might have messed this up. See, it's got to get closer to this, otherwise it's going to go through the wall. I can't have audio coming from the other side of the wall. That's not going to work. this, put it towards the wall a little bit more. We have 14, 15, 16, oh god, hold on, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, all the way through 22. These guys are all along this wall, which means that I've got to move them all at once. Alright. And this is the other reason that I did the gizmos thing, is because since I can see all of the balls, the points where they should exist, it makes it a lot easier for me to click on them to actually adjust them, instead of having to find them in the hierarchy. So I can now do stuff like that a lot faster and easier. Move you out here. Up a little bit. Move, actually, let's undo that. Darn it. Okay, we'll make you 6. And then I think I want to get basically all but the last 2 for this movement. Yep, all but the last 2. I want to bring it up a little bit. So it's there. This is probably fine. We're going to grab these 2 guys, move them in. Oh my god, it's small spaces. It's annoying. We'll probably, this is a curve. We're going to bring you in a little bit. Bring both of you in. This one needs to be brought in a little bit more. Brought in a little bit more. And we'll have to bring this guy in. Bring this guy in a little bit here. This is one where it's going to be really weird because it's no longer 90-degree angles. Actually, it might end up working a little bit better since it's not 90-degree angles. So freeform curvature will actually work a little nicer here. Ah, dead air. I wish I could do a tap song and dance for you guys, but sadly I lack the ability to do that and work on a game. As much as I would love to. And another reason why I don't need a webcam. Because I'm sure I would do stupid stuff while I'm trying to work. Let's move this over here. And we're going to grab this guy and move him down a little bit. And voila! There is our curves. Oh, there are too many gizmos. One of these days. And this is also why I turned off my 3D icons, because... Oh, wait, no. Really? Oh. Wait, that's not right. Oh. Maybe I need to turn on 3D icons. I thought it was the other way around. Oh, wait, no, it's usually... I like to have them large, usually. So I usually like my gizmos to be large, that way I can click on them from really far away. But in these cases, it kind of does make them a little annoying. But, Stream is lagging. I don't think I have anything on my end that's... Yeah, it hasn't dropped any frames. It could be... Like, is it lagging, or does it look like it has a frame sort of drop? Because I've noticed that if I have a lot of colors on the screen, and this is just how streaming works, but the more colors that you have to display in a streamed video, the more sort of artifacting that you'll get, and the sort of choppier frame rate that you'll get on Twitch. But it might be something I can try to fix by adjusting bit streaming or the bits being streamed, or the amount of bits being streamed or whatnot. Okay. So I'm also going to go ahead and attach those scripts to those points. So now we'll be able to see all of our wonderful audio points. And as soon as I do that, of course, I like instantly recognize that this is all messed up. And that's the other reason I do it, because it's impossible to see this stuff. Oh god, I gotta turn on 3D gizmos here. I just can't. It's too much space. If I didn't have these balls here, I wouldn't be able to see that was really far off. I'd be able to hear it and notice it. And obviously I could try to, see the line a little bit better, but for some reason, like having these little spheres reside in the space makes it a lot easier to conceptually understand where everything is. And stuff like that, yeah. Grab these guys, move it in a little bit, So it's a little bit closer to the walls now, which is nice. Well, that weirdness is still there, and I don't know why. I don't know where that sort of curved hiccup is coming from. It doesn't really make sense. Alright, but everything else seems to work. Alright, so now that that exists, we have to attach this outflow B to our pipe valve A. So let's get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. Come down here. Put it here. And this is just a proof of concept, so I might move on to something else after we test this. Because the main thing is I don't want to, keep you guys, I want to make you guys bored. I don't want to bore you guys with me doing, like a bunch of repetitive stuff. I should do repetitive stuff on my own time. But I do always find volumetric audio interesting, so I thought it would be worthwhile, at least. We might actually go up to the castle after this, and test not spline-based audio, but there's a section-based audio, which is sort of like a spline if it was a sheet. Okay, so there's no audio coming out of the pipes right now, which is good. It does seem like it's chugging a little bit. Let me try something. I'm going to maximize on play. Turn on stats. No, it's fine. Yeah, no audio streaming right now on either side. Let's rotate left. What the heck? I can hear it here. Maybe I should turn off occlusion. Because it sounds like there are sections, like right here, where it's behind the wall and therefore it's getting occluded somehow. So I might do that real quick. So let's go to outflow A, grab this guy, and I'm going to turn off occlusion. There we go. Let's occlude like, I don't know, point. Actually, no, let's go 0. It should not be occluded, because there's never a point in this level where you're so close that you would be able to hear it, but you're not close enough to actually, see it. So I don't know what would be the case there. I do not like how long it takes to do all this, though. Okay. Go ahead, run through here again. Rotate. Apparently shift was held down. Okay, let's hear. Nice. Oh my god, though. There are just like periods where it goes away. I mean, it's still there. You can see it, because here's Hero. That's where I am. But it's super quiet. Like right here. Oh, it like zoomed off. That's weird. That doesn't even make sense. Yeah, you can see it rush off there. Huh. Weird. Okay. Well, I guess that's... See, I wonder if that's a quirk from how I set up this first spline, so I wonder if I have to set up the first spline again. Because you'll notice that the second spline doesn't have any of those weird sort of curved blotches there, the sharp curves like that. And that's because I set everything out ahead of time and did it all in one go. And I'm wondering if there's like this weird caching error in how it's trying to draw the spline. Ugh, it might be, which would be unfortunate. All right. Stretch. Been doing this for almost 2 hours so far. Well, the stream itself. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and maximize on play. We're going to rotate this, and then we're going to follow it along. Totally forgot to grab goat mask so I could scare the troll. Let's grab this. This is obviously not going to be here in the actual game. Ah, dang it. I need to fix that too. There's something resetting my sprite selection on the goat for some reason. I don't know why it does it, but it resets the sprite. So I'll go to UI, HUD, overlays, goat vision overlays. And then we'll let that go. Play. Play. I command you. This long startup time is concerning. Take and wear mask. Oh, screw you. Did you really reset? You reset. Wonderful. Wunderbar. I'm not going to maximize on play. We might fix this real quick. I think I know how to fix it. It's just being frustrating more than anything else. This really long compilation time before starting is somewhat nerve-wracking. Alright. There we go. Goat. Okay. Maybe it was a weird Twitch thing, like their server was going nuts. So, okay, we'll let that animation go through while I turn these things on. Rotate. So we hear it on our left. Hear it on our left, hear it on our left. There's the troll. Hear this on our left. Hear this on our left. I kind of don't like the hum. It's giving me a headache. Oh, right. Dang it. Why do I forget these things? Actually, when I could just easily no-clip through it, why am I being lazy? Rotate. Really? I would have expected Canada to have nicer internet than America. If only because America has the worst freaking internet providers in the world. He says, living in the first world country that has Well, actually not the best internet, but okay internet. So unlock, unclock, unlock with key, open. We got audio fighting. Well, it's not really fighting, it's just I can't hear the pipe over the other audio. I think it's going on, but the waterfall is very loud. Okay. That seems fine. Yeah, we definitely need a different sound, because I'm like, with the player's face just... Why did I go back to non-maximize on play? With the player's face right up against it, it's kind of agitating to listen to. It's like a weird enough vibration feel that it doesn't feel right, but that works. Okay, so both of those lines are working. 120 a month for a tiny bit of bandwidth. Yeah, that is true. I do only have to pay 130 for 30 megabits a second, something like that, which isn't great. But it's what I pay for. It's the best I can get in my area. And it's Comcast! Because, you know, in the US we have, what, like 3 cable companies? 4 if you count AT&T. Technically 5 if you count Google. But the big ones are basically, I think, Time Warner, Verizon, and Comcast are the big 3. And then you have AT&T close behind them. And Google's doing its own thing, you know, with Google Fiber, but that's in like 3 cities. So, all right. So that audio works. I'm gonna do the rest of the audio splines later, because again, I'm just like placing points, which is horrendously boring. Rogers and Bell. Is that the original Bell Industries one? No, surely not. Because that is one of the weird things about United States corporations is that like 90% of them spun off of the really, really super mega corporations that were like dystopian 1980s. It's the dystopian corporations that in the 1980s envisioned basically existed in the early 1900s. So like the Bell Corporation split into a bunch of different companies across different industries. Mostly telephone related, but it did a bunch of other stuff too. But yeah, usually the less you have, choice-wise, the worse off you are. And the thing about American internet service providers, even though I listed, you know, like the big 3, they are never in the same area. There's never a Comcast in the same area as Time Warner, for example. And they say that's a good thing, but that is not. The best example I've heard is basically like a cartel. Because they're agreeing basically not to encroach on each other's territories, and doing so allows them to basically just set the prices for internet. Alright, so we're going to go back up to the castle. And actually, you know what? No, before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and go to Interactive Object. Inspector. Okay, and then we're going to go to item info. Go to definition. So this right here, this overlay sprite, is our object field. So this line right here that's highlighted is our section here that lets us assign our sprite. And apparently something about it is not setting our property correctly because it's not getting saved. So don't know why that's the case. I assume that it's something stupid. Ah, excuse me. It's probably because it's not getting saved and cached correctly, which is terrible. I probably want to come up here. blah, blah, blah. Draw a header, blah, 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 blah. Draw info. Oh, what the heck? Come on. It's right here, I think. Ah, here we are. The serialized object on apply modified properties. I think... Do I want to put that before it then? Yeah, the whole data cap thing is pretty quiet right now because it's subtle. But it's probably going to be a huge issue in the coming years as they try to work it down to a level that they can profit off of it. I'm going to try doing it. You know, it's hard to say. I think I can put it there and it'll be fine. And to be fair, who said it? I don't think it was Bell, but it was one of the first big providers of utility. The founder of it he made a point when he said monopolies are the ideal solution in theory, because in theory a monopoly since it has total control, then it can completely streamline everything and make it wonderful for the end user to experience. That's not how it works, because people are like, well, we could do that, but then that would be nice and we wouldn't make money. So monopolies are they're a wonderful idea on paper, but nowhere else. They only work on paper, or in some alternate reality where everyone is completely altruistic, including soulless corporations, which kind of isn't what they're known for. Anyway, so we're going to let that go and see if that works. So if the sprite goes away again, then we know we didn't do it right. But we're going to go up to scenes, intro, castle, and castle. And we are going to try some different volumetric audio. Currently, I have some magic barriers in the castle scene. Yeah, just like communism. And that would be my cat. She wants attention. Yes, I see you, cat. Exactly like communism, though. Communism is a wonderful, wonderful idea on paper. Everywhere else is terrible. So I have these magic barriers, which I'll go ahead and play real quick so you guys can see them and listen to them. And these magic barriers are not great orally. So in terms of audio, they're kind of bleh. They do have audio attached to them, but I'm using a single audio point for them. And I don't actually want to do that. Instead, what I should do... Oh yeah, I forgot I needed to regenerate those textures. My paintings are messed up from the earlier substance snafu. Let's open this up. Also, that is a terrible sound for that. So the barriers don't turn on, although we do look like we have some weird audio casting, or light casting there. These magic barriers do not turn on until we trigger our cutscene, which is actually going to be super loud. The particle effects still aren't working there. I don't know why. There's something wrong with it. We also need to come back through here. We'll probably do this over the weekend, the audio for this section. Because we need to add... I still love that sound effect for him, even though it's incredibly loud. So we need to add audio to that cutscene as well. And then our torches have audio already. But so our magic barriers, you can hear they have that hum to them. But you'll notice, and on these it's not as noticeable, but if I come over here, I'm at the edge of this audio sphere, and you'll notice that it's not really... Oh, crap! No, I forgot! This causes Unity to crash! Dang it. But... Wait for it. Okay, so that's interesting. Interesting. The audio is still playing, which means that Unity itself is not... I mean, Unity is hanging indefinitely. Like, I can't do anything. So I have to... freaking great. I have to force quit I really should look into that panic button asset. I don't know what causes this. There's no warning. There's no error. I mean, these errors exist, but those are something else. So open up Unity again, and really, 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 really hope I don't have to re-import everything. But I probably do. I probably do. But hey, at least we'll be able to see if our sprite was saved. Yep. Got to re-import everything. Joy! Again, I don't know if that's a 5.4 thing or if that's a Unity Collaborate thing. Or if it's a Substance thing, admittedly, because I know that Substance started doing stuff like that. Well, anyway, so the magic barriers, I can talk to you through the theory of things while this is happening. So the magic barriers have a single audio source on them, but audio sources are spherical, and they have a central point, which means that you know by listening where the audio is coming from. And in the cases of that door, for example, the audio just kind of tapered off as you went away from the center of the door, even though it should still be as loud as expected. But I can't just straight up have the the audio sphere go that large, because then it would cast a lot of audio very far away, or it would have to have some very short distance between its min and max distance, which means that it would basically have no sound, no sound, no sound, and then full on sound. So I can't just have a regular audio source component there. It won't quite work. It will do what's needed, but it won't do it in a way that's satisfactory. So that's something that we're going to be doing once this stupid crash stops, and that's why I can't play that level in long bursts. You know what? I wonder if it's the animated material, because it could be the way that I'm animating the magic, because it's substance animation, which means it's regenerating those textures every frame, which is obviously not great. In fact, it's kind of terrible. And I might have to look into not doing that, as much as it sucks. Yeah, the audio should basically come from not necessarily even the corners of the barrier, but because if it comes from the edges, then that means that if you're at the door again, you would hear it coming from like below you, or from your left, not from right in front of you. So what we're going to try to do is Sector, I believe, has a component called it's like a sector area audio or zone audio or something like that, and you can basically say anywhere in this zone is where the audio can play, and it's going to just calculate where it should be based on the position of the player camera. So we'll get that set up for those barriers so that instead of having a single point or a single line, it's going to be anywhere in this area, which will be the entire surface area of the barriers themselves. Oh, well, while we have to wait, I have placed orders for shirts for Text Quest at PopCon. The past 2 years I've gone, which actually are just the past 2 years that PopCon has existed. I have got T-shirts for people to basically to give to people that manage to complete Sierra mode, or little kids who are super excited to play the game. Or people who bring friends to play the game. I like to reward the people who stop by the booth as much as I can. So I like to give out T-shirts at PopCon. It's super expensive, and I cannot do it all. Well, I mean, I've done it all 3 years because I started doing it the first year, and now it's become a tradition that's expensive. But if you happen to be an indie and going to PopCon, then feel free to stop by the booth and might get a T-shirt. Who knows? But people love T-shirts. I think I'm the only person who's stupid enough to spend $400 on like 15 T-shirts to give away. Because I don't sell them. People always ask, like, "Oh, are you selling these?" I'm like, "No, I'm giving them away because I'm crazy." Like one of those crazy salesmen you see on TV. But it's great advertising. I think. I have no proof of that. I have no proof backing that up whatsoever. I really do wish I knew why this Oh, that's why. I maybe not. I don't know how selection works. I feel like I've not done selection correctly here. Like maybe I shouldn't check for this. I should check for this dot game object. It's hard to say. Actually, let me check that. So we have this. Um, unfiltered selection from the scene. All object. Return. Oh, that's not what we want anyway. I think I do want the game object. I don't think I want the script. So I don't want to say just this. Maybe that's why. So we might try that real quick. I'm curious. Because I don't want to, again, I don't want to show this stuff if I don't have to. I'd prefer to only show it if it's necessary. I think I actually want to say, crud. Crap, let me think. Or Unity editor dot selection dot contains this dot transform dot siblings. Oh. Ugh. I thought you could get the siblings directly, but maybe you can't. Eh. You know what? It might be better to just do it this way then. We'll do it like this for now. See if this works first, and then if it does, I'm actually going to come back and change how this draws. Instead of saying, instead of having these points on everything, I'm just going to have a single script that I attach to the root parent object, and then that will draw all of the subchildren. I think. Oh no, maybe that wouldn't work because I don't think it would let me click on them. Ugh! I can't win. Did I save that? I did. Good. Okay, so it doesn't show. Let's go to audio, pipes. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. Good. Good. Sort of. Like I said, it doesn't want to do that. But maybe I can. Can I click on that? So yes, I can click on these even though... Okay, I'm going to change that real quick. So I'm going to change it from this to this, and instead I'm going to say... Actually, I'm going to do this real quick. So I'm going to comment all of that out, and instead I'm going to say... crap. Let me think. How do I want to do this? I might just leave it as is, actually. Because I think I can say transform dot children. Yes. So I have a child count, and then I can just get my children. So then I'm going to say for each... Nope, can't do that. I have to do for int I equals 0. I is less than transform dot child count. I plus plus. Gizmos dot color equals color dot blue, and then gizmos dot draw sphere transform dot child I dot position 0.25f. There we go. And then we'll say if we'll do this. Yarg. There we go. Okay, we'll let that compile. And then we're going to attach that script to our base objects, actually. Hello, look at you. What do you mean, unexpected symbol? Ah, missing a parenthesis. Oh, man. Don't think I have anything else exciting going on. I'm sure that I technically do, but I just always find them boring. I'm not a great person to talk. I'm not good at talking about myself. That's a skill I need to improve on. Alright, so let's go ahead and try this. Can I click on you? No! Damn it. That's what I was worried about. See, so I lose the ability to draw myself, basically. Dang it. Yeah. That sucks. That sucks. I wonder if I can do if unity editor dot selection dot contains. Is it? It's a single object. Of course it is. Dang it. Well, then for now, I'm just going to leave it as is. I'm sure I could come up with a better way of doing it, but... And actually, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and not worry about the if statement either. Alright. I'd rather have them be always active and adjustable by me than hidden and only one of them is visible at a time. Which sucks. I'm sure I can find a better way to do that, but I'm not going to worry about it on the stream for now. I just got to think the logic through a little bit better, I think. And I think I have an idea. It's going to involve having a second script, which is why I didn't want to do it. But intro, castle. All right. Let's come back here, and we're going to go ahead and select our magic seal. And then we are going to make a... Oh, come on. So we're going to say component, sector, audio, and I believe we want region source. If I'm not mistaken. Determine the closest point by raycast and stuff. More accurate, but expensive. No, I'm not too worried about that. Okay. Let's go to audio, sector, cues, intro, sewers. We'll do pipe magic loop for now. I'm going to disable this. Actually, we'll just go ahead and remove that component. I don't remember if this has to go on the actual... I think it does. Yep, looks like it does. Crap. So it has to go on the mesh to work properly, I think. Boo. But that's fine, I suppose. And real quick on our castle manager, let's go ahead and add that. We have our text quest trigger, throne trigger, final references. Let's go ahead and do public sector region source. Do an array of those. Magic audio equals u 0. And then let's see. Throne trigger, find all references. Go down here. For each. Oh, actually, that's not even going to go there. Well, actually, we'll put it here anyway. Sector region source. RS in magic audio. Okay. RS dot stop. This is if the right. True. God, why didn't you make that a default thing? That's if the magic barriers are not there. This is if they are here. We're going to say play instead of stop. And then we are going to copy this. We're going to do the same thing over here on throne triggered. Boom. Alright. So by default, it's not going to do anything. But then once the wizard cutscene fires, we should be able to hear that audio properly. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this component over too. So I'm going to say copy component. I'm going to put it on the magic door as well, assuming it doesn't freak out. I'm also going to disable this audio and then paste this as new, which I kind of like doing this actually a lot more because I don't like having audio sources that want to play all of the time but don't. Because they're disabled, I don't like doing that. It's like it's a weird thing because I know how it should behave, but because I'm not absolutely controlling it, it feels like it could misbehave somehow. Okay, so we're gonna run through here after pausing, clearing these guys. No! Again? You, Unity. Oh, he froze. It's because it knew. It knew that I wanted to test things. I really need to send this in and ask people why it's doing this. Because there's never anything in the log. The editor log has nothing saying like, hey, I'm going to crash now. There's nothing there. It just stops. Just stops dead. Although while we're here, I've just remembered that I need to test the goat head or goat mask. Right, and then we gotta wait for collaborate to connect and do everything. Okay. So let's go to prefabs, which have not changed, which means that it's probably not. Dang it. Okay. So I have to do more involved things to get that to stick. That's fine. Let's go back to scenes, intro, castle. We're going to attempt fate again, and we're going to just play and sprint and see if we get caught. Because we've already re-imported once after a crash, so it shouldn't cause us to do that again. Still, though, I wish I knew what was causing it. Because it's not consistent. Sometimes it happens instantly. Sometimes it doesn't happen. It just... I don't know what does it. I don't know. Nuts. Drives me nuts. Open. kind of think that it has something to do with the cutscene, but I can't guarantee that because there's those 3 errors that are getting fired there at the bottom. They happen in other scenes too. And why did you work on the exit? Whatever. Okay, that's good. You are not. Because I didn't add you. Dang it. Hold on. Let's see. So we want props, throne room, magic seal, and castle. Why was it playing before then? That's not right. Oh, let's just see what happens. Okay, so see, it didn't do it that time. We'll see if it happens again. Probably will, because now I'm like, aha, I know what I want. Maximize on play, too. The boom is... It's because I haven't adjusted the volume at all. And it's also because the cutscene tools... So I can, like, try to get away from it a little bit. But the cutscene tools don't seem to let you adjust how the sound plays. So all of these sounds are... They sound like they're 2D sounds, actually. Which might be the case. But yeah, there's some weirdness with the Cinema Director, how it plays audio. And I probably need to dig into their code to change it. There we go. This right here. Okay, I need to increase the distance on this, obviously. But yeah, see, now it follows me. So now it makes sense. Because it's not just on the edges, it's not just in the center. It's actually along the duration of it. As opposed to, say, like you can hear, it's to my left, it's to my right, versus this one, which is, it's in front of me, it's in front of me, it's always in front of me. And then these are simple, because they're just audio sources. Love it when things are simple. Is this going to be the final font? You mean this stuff? Yes. I chose it because it is reminiscent of the Commodore 64. In fact, it's based on the Commodore 64 font, I believe. And I think it's easy to read. It's legible because it's blocky. So there's no confusion in reading it. It has some serifs on things, not always, which means that it's, you know, not just this boring language that's completely rectangular. It's a good font choice, I think. I do have a desire to basically allow people to customize their font. And currently I'm thinking of doing like, once you beat the game, you unlock the option to change the font in the menus, along with the font color, and maybe the actual font family. But I don't have anything set in stone for that, so I'm still messing with that to try and get a good idea. But for the most part, yeah, this is the default font, and this is the font that I'm planning on going with. Because there was a point when I was thinking, you know, trying to do like different fonts for every single object, and it was just not going to happen. So I did different fonts for every single asset. I would have to have a single font that represents that asset well, and it would my file size would balloon because of fonts, which is just something that I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. I couldn't spend that much time like going through every single font family and being like, yes, this one represents trees very well indeed. kerning, sorry, not carroting. Well, in any case, so yay, we got all that working, which means that I can delete these audios, and instead just have this sector region, copy component, paste component as new, and then I'm going to go ahead and, actually no, I'm going to leave it as is. And then we will probably turn off our mesh seal. Really, I've never heard it called mesh seal before. Oh, it's because that's the name of it. Okay, I was like, that doesn't seem right. It's like, oh yeah, mesh filter, that's right. All right, so we have that. Let's go ahead and add those to make sure that they're in our audio. So we have 5 things. Magic seal 1, magic seal. Actually, we have more than 5 things. We have 6 things. So all of those are in there now. All of them are set up properly. Hooray! And I would play again, but that's probably just going to invite crashing. Getting lag again. Well, it's probably fine for now. I might call it a night there for this stream because it's been 2.5 hours. And some of the other stuff that I need to do tonight, like the other audio placement, is rather boring. So we might just stop here, since we're successful and I'm not frustrated, which is always a good thing. Yeah, I think we'll call it a night here. I'll probably stream again on Saturday. That's going to be closer to midday, so like a 1 or 2-ish time frame Eastern time, just so that it's better for people outside of my time zone. Sucks, I guess, for people a little bit to the west of me, but not too much because it's the middle of the day here, so it'll be sort of late morning over there. And we'll probably go over some of the combat stuff that hopefully I'll get done between now and then, and some of the audio that I put in here because I'm planning on doing a pretty big audio pass over the next couple of weeks. And yeah, I think that's a good place to wrap. So, as always, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you next time. And Arshik, thank you for stopping by.